You are now live.
Good evening. Welcome to Mardi Gras celebration, the MSBA's next Cooking Connections. I thank you all for joining us tonight. We have a great evening and a great menu in store for you. We've got the Mardi Gras theme as this kicks off Mardi Gras on Fat Tuesday down in New Orleans, which is being celebrated. So we hope you brought your beads, we hope you brought your colors, and join us for a fun evening with an amazing menu, an amazing chef that's going to join us. Just a couple things I want to go over with you tonight. In our chat box, please feel free to send a message or a question or a comment that you have to our chef or to myself, and we're happy to present that and see if we can answer those questions for you. Also, I wanted to let you know about some upcoming events. On Wednesday morning, March 3rd, will be my next coffee chat. This is Cooking Connections, coffee chat, which is going to be the theme of in-house counsel. How did they become in-house counsel? What is the path to become, if you were thinking about becoming an in-house counsel with a corporation, a university, or an association? So I hope you join us. We've got a tremendous lineup of guests that will be talking about their experiences as in-house counsel. And we'll have probably about 2 more Cooking Connections. So if you have enjoyed our series, and you've missed one, you can always go onto the President's Corner of MSBA.org, click on one of the links, and you'll be able to review one of our past Cooking Connections. Or if you just want to go back and review this one, because maybe you wanted to try another recipe over again, feel free to do so. This evening, in the past, we've had donations have been given to the Maryland Food Bank, and we continually thank you for your support for those that have, with the food insecurity across our state during the pandemic. This whole idea came about of our connections to restaurants and how important that lawyers have met with our clients, met with expert witnesses, and in the MSBA, we'd have all of our meetings, our sections, council meetings, our board meetings were in restaurants, and we have not been able to do that. So we want to do some way to show our support, remind folks to do carry out, take out, and when indoor and outdoor dining is safe to resume, please continue to patronize these restaurants and keep them in business. So tonight's beneficiary of donations is an organization I stumbled across through a very, very good friend of mine, Caroline Griffin. The organization is called Show Your Soft, that's a tongue twister, Show Your Soft Side. In late 2010, there was just an onset of horrific animal abuse, one after another, across our state. These moments became a defining moment for 3 women and a photographer here in Baltimore, and Show Your Soft Side was born. Bill, let's show the video.
Baby, you can count.
If somebody calls me a cat guy, I take it as a compliment.
Every time Sammy sees me, I'm pretty sure all he sees is a 240-pound pushover.
Molly and Cooper, I treat them as kind of like my kids. I call Molly my baby girl, and I call Koopy boy.
Yeah, Rico would definitely be the class clown. He brings a lot of entertainment to my life.
I'm definitely a sucker for getting Marley toys. She clearly has destroyed every toy I've given her, but she needs a toy.
I'm definitely a total sucker for a head bump. You know, if you just do a little, you're gonna get a bump. That's a cat kissing you back.
Compassion is strength, and that's what you learn from the animals.
Doesn't matter how much you bench, squat, or deadlift. Show me a guy who looks out for animals. That's a tough guy.
Baby, or you can count on me.
Thank Thank you. Caroline, welcome tonight. Tell us a little bit about your organization and what inspired you to create this nonprofit.
Thank you so much, Judge Scurti. We are a very small, all-volunteer nonprofit that started in 2010. I was chairing the Mayor's Animal Abuse Commission, and we were seeing one case after another. It started when two 17-year-old boys were charged with soaking a dog in gasoline and setting her on fire. And that was followed by other kids setting a cat on fire. Animals were being stoned on the street. And the worst, most shocking perhaps, was a group of 10-year-old boys who beat an 8-week-old puppy to death on a public golf course. And so we were having this horrible problem, but the worst cases were being perpetrated by kids. And specifically, it was groups of boys who were showing off to each other. And so my now partner, Sandy Risette, it's Show Your Soft Side was really her brainchild. She was an advertising professional and asked me to join forces with her, with our third partner, who was working at 98 Rock WBAL, to create a anti-cruelty campaign directed to these kids, to teach them empathy and to try to deter these crimes. And so we wanted it to be effective, and we wanted really credible messengers to deliver that message. And we thought these kids really value and appreciate professional athletes. So we got a photographer who happens to be a lawyer, a very talented man named Leo Howard Lubo, who used to practice with Paul Sandler many years ago. And he photographed Adam Jones of the Orioles, Jarrett Johnson of the Ravens at the time, and that big MMA fighter, John Rollo. And we photographed them just holding their animals in these very intimate images where they're basically cuddling their animals. And we just wanted to have a poster in each public school. But when we launched the campaign at City Hall, the images literally crossed the globe overnight. And we were fielding calls the next day from around the world. And so now we have 250 ambassadors, celebrity ambassadors around the country to deliver our message that compassion toward animals is a strength.
That's fantastic. Well, we celebrate you. We celebrate your organization. We thank you. As Caroline is one of our members of the MSBA, or her husband is one of our past presidents. So we welcome you. We thank you for joining us tonight, telling us a little bit about Share Your Soft Side. So thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you can stick around and join us while we kick off our cooking tonight. I am so excited to introduce to you our chef, Nancy Longo. Nancy started Pierpont Restaurant. It's a small restaurant nestled in Baltimore's Fells Point neighborhood in downtown area. She started that in 1989, serving modern Maryland dishes, as well as eclectic elements of world cuisines. She does catering. She has a wonderful menu that she offers on a nightly basis in the Fells Point area. And actually, my connection to Nancy goes way back in the early 80s when I worked in Ocean City. And Nancy, I think I keep bringing this up to her all the time, but she was a sous chef at the Carousel Hotel. And that's where I first met Nancy. And I was amazed by her talent. And just really, I tried to learn as much as I could from Nancy. And over the years, I followed her career and her success. So Nancy, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. And let's kick off our Mardi Gras menu. Are you with us? While we're waiting for Nancy to connect.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a little mishap there, but that's okay. Can't have traditional Mardi Gras in New Orleans this year. So we're going to have traditional Mardi Gras in a restaurant of a tiny nature. So if anybody is connected to this, knows me besides you, Mark, those who know me know that I was very good friends with Chef Paul, and I spent a lot of time in Louisiana and New Orleans, and I learned a lot about Cajun cooking from him. It's one state. I've been all over the country, so I thought it'd be fun to enjoy that with you this evening, and hopefully we'll raise a little money for Caroline's causes. We have 6 degrees of separation. because I know her too, because one of my employees used to save pit bulls and was very active with her at one point. So tonight, should we start with the drink,
Oh,
or
yeah.
should we wait that out? Are you ready?
That's my favorite.
Okay. This is what we call a little, what they call a lanyap. So give you a little Cajun language there. That means a little something extra. So we're going to make a hurricane this evening. And my sous chef is the Honorable J. Irwin Block, my friendly favorite lawyer. I'm going to make him drink some of this too. And he's going to make some food with us. But right now he's operating the camera. So in the meantime, we start by putting some ice in this. Yes.
From the beginning. All right. So
We're going to put some ice in here.
Yeah.
So we're making a hurricane. Did anybody ever have one of those things in New Orleans? And then the next day they were like, oh, dear God. So it's one of those things you have to have. Or as my friends from down there say, y'all come down there, pass a good time, and we'll have some Slurpees. They still call them Slurpees. Slurpees up here are totally different thing. So we got some ice in here. We're going to start out with our rum. Now you're going to use a measuring utensil if you want. I'm a chef, so I can count.
I don't
so I'm going to count my rum. You don't use it? Good. You're just like me.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. You were a server. You right. Now the other thing we got here is a little Everclear, which is something that you usually see there. It's kind of hard because the recipe y'all got said use dark and light rum, but in this case we're going to use a little bit of this here lovely Everclear. All right, so we put both of those in there. We have some fresh squeezed lime juice. I'm going to put a little of that in there. Okay. We're going to put our orange juice in there. Da, 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 da. The last time I had some of these was when Chef died. Anybody ever been to New Orleans and get stuck in a second line? It was the longest second line I've ever seen in my entire life. Went from the cathedral back around Charters and down there right to the restaurant. Okay, I'm gonna put my simple syrup in here. Where's my there it is. Got some simple syrup. All right. Got a little of that in there, makes it a little sweeter. All right. Passion fruit. Got a little of that good stuff. Now it says puree. I had a hard time finding that today, so I went straight with the juice, which will work. Okay.
Rum because I didn't.
So we're gonna put our passion fruit in there. You didn't have that rum? And then last but not least, if you've ever had a hurricane, they gotta have grenadine.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm gonna put my grenadine in there. Let's hope my cocktail shaker does okay. I'm gonna do it over an extra pot I have here. Because I have concerns that I filled it up pretty high. Needs a little shake up. Okay. Pull it out because we got to do that. Okay. And then we got ourselves a couple of glasses here. You know, a hurricane glass is a little different than this, but somewhat similar. Just to be sure that I got it all mixed up. I'm gonna give her another little shake again. Now one's probably a little darker than the other. And because you know why they call it a hurricane? Because when you finish drinking that, it's gonna hit you like a hurricane. Alrighty. So we gotta. You got yours done there, Mark?
I'm done.
You done?
Sarah and I are
Okay. Because and you know it says we need a little garnish with some cherry, some orange. I'm gonna cut us a little orange. It's kind of like a southern sangria at this point. I'm gonna shove all those little goodies in there. I'm gonna give one of these to my sous chef. and I'm going to drink the other, and they're going to move on, as they say. So everybody got that one down?
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers. Les all bon temps, longtemps roulé. Let the good times roll.
Let the good time.
Oh, it's pretty yummy. That's it. Anyway, so one of the first things that you need to learn about Louisiana, everything revolves around, as they like to say there, it's called Who's Your Mama? Can You Cook and Can You Make a Roux? Swear to God. And then the second thing is called a Trinity, as we all know, because it's a very Catholic state, and as of tomorrow, no meat. Okay, so we're going to start out by making our roux. If Jay can pick this up in the picture, you will see a light roux and a darker roux. The darker roux, I'm going to put into this pot. We want it even darker than it already is. It should have the consistency of chocolate. Okay? All right. So, Mark, if you're starting from the beginning with yours, it's okay.
We have a nice.
All right.
Can you see that? Nice and chocolate texture. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
What's that?
Sarah made it early.
Yes. Did you already do yours?
Yes.
Yeah, I made it earlier today.
All right. Well, okay. You guys, you're too much. All right. So the thing about this roux is, the roux is doing its thing, okay? And at some point when it gets to that place where it's done, you're going to go through this process. So the first process is, this is what a blonde roux is. We're going to use this for something else. But this should start, the first blonde roux should smell like butter, cookies. We get to the medium roux, it should smell like almonds. And when it gets to the very dark stage, it almost possesses a popcorn or really dark kind of smell like that. So I'm proud of you that you did yours early. Now, you can buy this stuff on the internet. And my friends down there, oh, y'all, Mom, they make those in the oven. And I have yet to master that. Now, I already got a couple of dark pieces in here I got to keep an eye on. Because Chef Paul used to say it was not c'est la vie. If you messed it up, you had to start all over again. So you never want those burnt pieces kind of floating around in your food. However, mine are brown; they're not black. So we're gonna keep an eye on it. Now, for those of you who've never made one of these things at home, they're kind of dangerous. So you got to keep an eye on it because it will get really, really hot really fast. But it won't take me that long. I got, like I said, I started at the halfway point. So the first thing I want to do when I do that is look for my Trinity. Okay. So the Trinity is always peppers, onions, celery. And I got them all here. Got yours there. Okay. So I'm keeping an eye on this. And I can start to smell that lovely smell that I'm expecting it to smell like. I'm gonna put this on top of this other burner. All right. So we're doing it. It's getting there. One of the things you're gonna know when you make this is as it starts to get darker, the butter will start to pop out of the pan and almost feel like it's pinching you. Because that's what it does. The reason this is taking longer than it normally would is because I've used an aluminum pan. I found that when you do them with stainless steel pans, they get really hot really fast, and they tend to burn really quickly. Okay. So, I'm not on video? Did you lose me?
No, you're good.
Okay, you can see how dry this is getting. Did yours get dry, Mark? Did yours get dry when you made it? As the process went with your roux?
Sarah made
Because the way to look.
Sarah made the roux.
Okay, well, you're not going to tell me if it did. It's okay. I'm just laughing. Okay. All right. All right, so you can start to see this color. What I do so that I can extend that and keep it from getting burned, you notice I'm putting a little extra oil in it. You'll see how smoky it is. Okay, now that I've got this billowing smoke is when I'm going to start adding those other things to this really quickly. Because what that's going to do is literally cool it down. Okay? And I am a nice Italian girl, so I don't like just green peppers. I like them all. And the other one is I found that when you do this, at this point, when you're letting that do that, you're going to let it cook. And then I'm going to add my andouille. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. This is a really good stuff from Louisiana. The stuff in the grocery store I found to be really awful. Before we finish today, I'll find a package of this, and I believe you can buy it on the internet. And there's nothing in comparison. Yeah. Okay, so you see how fast all those vegetables in there got cooked? Got my little green onions. All right, now, if y'all can't make some chicken stock at home, or whatever we're going to use, you want to buy this stuff in the store. I prefer to use this Swanson or the low sodium Swanson. Okay. And, oh shoot, I forgot my celery. That's where this thing's full of vegetables. But we're going to use some of that for our other dish too. All right. So now I look like I just got a big pile of vegetables. I'm going to turn this back on. I'm going to add my stuff. And you can see how hot it really still is. It's pretty amazing how hot this all stays. So here's the rule, you know, if you did right by this, when it's done, when it's done, there should be an oil slick on the top. Because it was to remind you of the bayou, the chapalaya. Okay, so this should never look like a really smooth pot of soup going on there. Okay, are you in the same place there?
Good.
Now, several things you gotta have. Okay, you need a little okra. I know a lot of people don't like that. We need some gumbo filet. Okay, and if y'all don't know what gumbo filet is, it is sassafras. It's also used in tea. So I'm gonna put a little. Y'all know also know that the center bowl of your hand is a tablespoon. You do now. Okay, so I'm gonna put my gumbo filet in there. Hot sauce, crystal, whatever. I found that this is actually, I like it a little spicy. Works really well even with that Old Bay hot sauce. And then last but not least, we need some kind of Cajun spice. And I would be remiss not to have my friend's spice in my gumbo there. Okay? So we got all that going on. Starting to take its shape here. And it should thicken up some from both the sassafras and the roux that we put in there. I will add the okra in now. And buy them frozen whole, but they don't take long to cut up. And drop them in there. They actually, and all their sticky qualities, add some thickness to this also. And then we are going to need some, what do you say we were going to do with this one? With shrimp? Or are we doing this with chicken? Shrimp. Okay. me ask Chris to go find me that little bag of shrimp. It's up front. I have all kinds of helpers here tonight.
Okay.
So, what's that? So I'm going to add my okra here. And you start to see it taking that brown color to it. But the beauty of this is you can keep your spoon in there to stir it because the spoons don't get hot. That's the thing I love about wooden spoons. They work really, really well. So at some point, I'm just going to let this come up to a simmer. We're going to let it tighten up a little bit, and then I'm going to add the shrimp. I never put them in the beginning. It's because they sorry, one of my helpers told me they already got me the shrimp. They shrink up to nothing. So we don't want to do that. All right. So Mark, are you in the same place with your
Yes.
gumbo?
We're up to the-
Okay.
Except for the last quarter.
All right.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. That's it, Rich.
All right. It is.
Whole cast of lawyers and judges doing these cooking shows. You gotta love it.
Well, you know, when you're a Pierpont, you got to let your friends and neighbors in, and she's it. All right, I'm going to move this one over, and we're going to move on to the jambalaya. If you're ready, Mark.
We are just about ready.
Okay, you tell me. I'm gonna see. As a good chef, I always put my pan on and let it just get hot.
All right.
Everything's really hot when I start. Okay.
That's the gumbo.
So we got this going on over here. That's our gumbo.
All right.
All right. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have a lot of extra vegetables, so I'll probably throw some more in here too. We're gonna look at our other pan over here with this jambalaya. Okay. Everybody understood that where we are now. You notice I put a fair amount of seasoning in there. I stop at that because this is going to keep cooking, and it may get really salty if I had put more. However, we can always add more. I got this at a really hefty rolling boil. So I don't really want it to. I want it to stay to simmer. Now I have seen this done where they can do it in a short period of time. I would say that, truth be told, that gumbo needs at least an hour for it to take on its flavorful state. And it's going to get a little more once we add the shrimp to it. Okay. So let's move on to this other recipe we got here. For this jambalaya. Alrighty. Now, my friend Mr. Chris in the back, babe, I need some more of that andouille. You give me the whole pack on. I'm gonna show it to him. I'm gonna show you this stuff because I believe you can buy it on the internet. Okay. Alrighty. So I got this hot. It's going to be really hot. So, yeah, you can take a picture of this. I think you all can see this on the internet, but this is the real thing. And that all those Adels and Zatarans and all this sort, nothing compares to this stuff. So this is it. And if y'all can't find it, you can call me and I'll happily help you. Okay. We're going to cut up some of that. We have our chicken here. We start by putting our chicken in the pan. Okay. And I have another wooden spoon, because I like this one has teeth on it. And I'm using a wok like container because it actually works really well. I believe that anytime you're making rice dishes, whether they're Asian or not, a wok is a perfect tool for that. All right, so I'm going to cut this package of this stuff open. And why do I say this is so superior to the other stuff? All right, when I cut this up, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. All right, and you'll look inside and you see all this very fatty, flavorful, and they smoke them. It's just absolutely amazing. And I am a firm believer you can't find enough fondue. So here we go with that. I cut them on an angle thinner so they make a nice presentation. It's just a preference for me. It's not the recipe says you have to do that. So okay. And you notice I'm still stirring my gumbo. I'm going to add andouille to this. We have to cook this until this chicken is done. Because once I put that rice in, if it's not done, then I'm going to end up with some not so nice chicken, as well as the fact that as the chicken cooks and starts to turn white, it's getting a little closer to the rice color, and it kind of masks that color so that you wouldn't notice that, okay? So, there we go with this. I'm just letting her rip. So, again, if you understand anything about Cajun cooking and Creole cooking, this is kind of like their idea of a paella. Because it's not full of all that shellfish and stuff. They do put shrimp in them. This particular one has andouille too. And then you can also put alligator in there. Everybody eats alligator, everything down there. All right. You boil along there. How are you doing over there with your chicken?
We're doing good.
You doing okay, Mark? Doing good? All right. Now, what do you call all this fabulous stuff in the bottom of the pan? It's called fond. And you know why? Because it has so much flavor, you're very fond of it. So, we want to make sure that all that ends up in our dish. So,
The cookware that you're using, tell us a little bit about it.
So everything I'm using in here today is all restaurant stuff. Now, if you live in the Baltimore area, the cool thing is it's a place called the Restaurant Store over on Kane Street, and they sell restaurant equipment to the public. The cool thing is we're using individual burners because this table, kind of somewhat the way you see it right now. Unfortunately, this is our operation because we're doing these meal boxes to go. But this is our normal setup for when we have a cooking class, and we would use these burners for the dishes that we do, so that I can walk around and watch everybody what they're doing. But these are like 50,000 BTUs. These things are pretty hefty. You could burn something really fast on them. They might even have more BTUs than the stove I have in the kitchen. But I opted to do it out here because I really wanted y'all to be able to see it. Very hard because of how high that counter is, as you well know, having been here. That you wouldn't have been able to see anything, and I wanted to make sure you could see it. And pretty soon, we even have some fancy gumbo bowls for our gumbo today. And for those of you that partake, we're going to make the banana pasta, but we have a little king cake here, and it's politically correct. It has all the babies on it, all the nationalities, which is typical of what you would have today or tonight. And the deal with the baby is, as I'm flipping things all over the place, the deal with the baby is whoever got the baby becomes the king of the Mardi Gras next year and has to have the party, which is pretty cool. Very interesting, fun stuff. I know that my friends, they're all excited over what they've done at Mardi Gras. Yes, they actually already put a coffee table book out from the Mardi Gras. All right. So I think it's pretty cool. So how do you know when chicken's done? I'm always asking this. It's kind of a fun thing about it. So when you have chicken, and I can bounce on it, I can press it and I can see it's not clear. I mean, I'm pink or still raw looking. It's done. The other one is when you cook chicken like that and it's cooked, it'll get little tiny little white wet sweat beads on the outside of it, and that's how you know that all the protein's been cooked from the inside out. We're close only because I know what's going on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my other things to this. Again, I'm gonna go back to that Trinity place. I'm gonna add my other goodies. And you'll notice that whatever I have left, I'm throwing back in that gumbo because I like a lot of veggies in my gumbo. So we're dropping our peppers and onions in there. I'm gonna let those cook. Okay. Ooh. Again, I like a lot of colored peppers. So I just think green peppers they're really boring. I don't know. Some people really like them. Funny how, chef, we all have our own likes and dislikes. Okay. And the other one is, you notice I didn't put the green peppers in. I always like to put the green peppers, I'm sorry, the green onions in so close to the end. And that's because I like them to keep their color. You always seem to lose the color of these things too fast if you put them in too early. So always better to let it go. Our gumbo is looking pretty good. You can see a little bit of fat on the top. Now, secret to that is the more andouille you put in, the more of that fat you're going to see on the top of your gumbo there. So we got all these other things here sauteing. Now, we want to use some rice here. And what I like to do, because this rice is cooked, this is just a little cheat or interesting thing here, is I like to put a little bit of oil in mine before I do that. And that, what it does is, the oil goes over the rice, and it loosens up these kernels of rice, but it also shields them on the outside from them sticking as much, as well as the fact that it keeps it from getting all gummy. Okay, so we got all those good things in there right now. And it's time for a little bit of hot sauce. Yes, it did call for butter. I didn't throw any of that in there. Just didn't leave me any, but you're supposed to have a little butter in there, and I can. Oh, give me some butter, honey. All right, I need to go back to having my drink here.
Ready for another.
There we go. That's Mr. Chris. He's the brains of this operation. There's no such thing as not cooking with too much butter. So we're going to drop some butter in here. Get a little bit of that. Okay. It's the same place here, Mark?
We are. We just added the rice. Although I got to catch up with you on
Yep. Okay. We're going to go again. There's our gumbo filet. Putting our gumbo filet in there. I'm counting in my head, by the way. I just tell them, don't check me on that one because you might end up wrong. And my spice is going in there. Very similar to the other things that we're doing a rice dish here.
All right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna let that butter all melt in there, make it yummy. Now, if you were in New Orleans, what I call that fond, when you were at Cape Paul's, God rest their soul, they're closed now. They were victim of COVID. The chef was no longer alive. They would call this debris
Yeah, the butter was part
instead of fond. And you need to always make sure you pull the debris off the bottom of the pan. In which case, it's important to have that. Okay. So I got all my goodies here going. I'm going to put this rice in. So you can see it's all pretty well seasoned at this point.
Yes.
All right. All right. So now we're going to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need some of that rice in there. Because y'all supposed to serve your gumbo with little rice on the side. Right. I just thought that New Orleans was the best example of the meltdown of America. Yeah, they say that about a lot of.
Doing okay? Turn down a little.
Hey, Nancy, I'm not hearing you at the moment. Can you hear us?
Nancy, can you hear us? We're not hearing you at this point. I think we lost your audio.
Yeah, I think that's right. We can still see your video.
Well, she is stirring the rice into the jambalaya. I could see that. We're already about the same step as Nancy is with that, and it's actually looking pretty decent. Let me let them know while we're waiting. Let's see. Let me see if we have any questions. Bear with me. A little technical difficulty. That's all right. All right, so we're trying to get Nancy's sound back. While we're waiting for that, a couple things I wanted to go over with you about Mardi Gras. Does anybody know when the tradition about throwing beads came into play? So the origins of Mardi Gras can be traced to medieval Europe, passing through Rome and Venice in the 17th and 18th centuries, to the French house of the Bourbons. From here, the traditional revelry of boeuf gras, or fatted calf, followed France to her colonies. Nancy's working on her sound at this point, so I'm just going to go over a couple more fun facts. The throwing of trinkets to the crowds, such as the beads, started as early as 1870 by the 12th Night Revelers, and it's been a time-honored expectation for young and old alike. And if anybody's been in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, as you know, there's just a week-long celebrations leading up to tonight, Fat Tuesday, which has been which is the biggest celebration of debauchery, if you will, leading up to the Bacchus Parade, the King's Float, and they throw doublins with the image of the celebrity king on one side of the doublin, and if you're lucky enough to catch one, you hold on to it, and there are prizes that are sent out. Signature throws. Zulu has its famous coconuts, and many other crews offer hand-decorated items, including Muse's shoes, Nink's purses, Allegheny lamps, Carrollton shrimp boats, and the list goes on. So this tells you a little bit about Mardi Gras and how it gets celebrated down in New Orleans and throughout the country. As you know, just remind you that we're doing the gumbo, the jambalaya. Hopefully you're catching up with Chef Nancy as we're getting her sound back and her video. Ours is going on pretty well. We've got
you got me back now?
Got you, yes. There you go. We got you. So I was just telling everybody about.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm loading it up with the green onions. Okay. Because my gumbo is going along here. And we got a little extra. I throw them in the rice. Make the rice pretty. It's going to go for the gumbo. All right. I'm going to throw the shrimp into here now. We should be good with that. Okay. Now, both of those goodies are done. We can either have a little taste of that, or I can get my extra hands to hold the camera, and my sous chef can start the bananas. So we got another judge here to taste. She's going to taste. And then we're going to put Jay in an apron and we're going to let him get with the bananas. Okay? You guys good?
Good. Nancy, I just want to show you what ours looks like. Here's our final plate. It smells wonderful. Sarah, thank you.
Ah, my pleasure.
Yes. So we're actually hungry. I'm going to eat a little. We're going to do the bananas Foster, which is also another tradition of New Orleans. Did we lose the sound again?
I'm not hearing them at the moment. Let me try this, see if I can get them back.
Oh.
Don't know exactly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Can you take that and hold that?
Take what and hold what?
So you're going to taste the food first?
No, we're going to do it all at one time. All right, so I'm going to put Jay in an apron right now. And we're going to start on this bananas. You guys, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. So here's the thing about the bananas. The quick little thing about that is you do not want ultra ripe bananas. Okay. You want bananas that are just on the edge there. So you can see how they have a little bit of brown tipping on them, but these are nice and ripe. And we are gonna get Jay over here, and he's gonna be ready to roll. Okay. So Jay, I'm gonna be your sous chef and tell you what you need to do. He picked this wonderful recipe from Pat O'Brien's. I am going to do some crepes after we do the bananas.
Okay, where's my butter?
So we got some butter. We're going to start out with the butter. And he wants to pick up his own recipe. I was just going to be his eyeballs. But I should never say, you know, this man, from all these foodie things that we belong to. And I first met Jay when I did at a fundraiser to raise money for the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, and Jay was a guest at the event. In which case, Chef Paul was at that event making crawfish beignets. It was wonderful. So Jay has his brown sugar and his butter, and if that pan gets hot, I have a towel for you here, sir. In the pan. I'm going to come to the other side here because you got it under control. All right. So what we're doing, guys, is actually making a caramel on the bottom of the pan.
Did you cut the bananas?
You want me to cut the bananas for you? Okay, here we go. So you want them long and skinny. Okay. It's interesting because I've seen this numerous different ways, but we're going to take our bananas. We want to peel them. Okay. And okay. Yes, sir. Okay. And
so
we're lining them up while he's yes, sir. So Jay's got himself a nice caramel going here. Alrighty. I'm almost done. Almost.
Come on, Chef, hurry.
I'm not fast enough for Jay. Alrighty. I'm going to cut them in half after I cut the ends off. And I'm going to go ahead. Do you want me to just throw them in there for you? Okay. So we're cutting all the tips off because they're always brown and nasty. And we got our bananas going. And his little caramel he's got going on here. And Jay's testing them all out. Alrighty. Woo! Now comes the fun part. So you see how they get stay like that? Because if you don't get the ultra ripe bananas, they will stay firm like that. So that when we go to flambe this, they will stay nice for you. Otherwise, they get really mushy and stick together. You at that same place, Mark, at this point?
Okay.
I can't see you, so I'm just asking. Are you good?
Good.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of arguing, and I used a little Baltimore Caribbean rum here from our friends at Old Line. And we got some, I do not, but I got that. And we're going to use a little brandy because I like brandy. So Jay is going to give us a little flambe here. I'm going to step back because this stuff can go really high if you want. Got it? Whoa! That's okay. We lost that oyster. It's all good. The beans are falling apart. All right. Now, if that gets too firm, you can always add a little extra liqueur. Yeah. So I would, if it were me, Jay, I would probably put a little bit more liqueur in there. Make my, I just like playing with booze. I like playing. There we go. But the other thing is that when you do that, you can allow this thing to kind of come back together. See how smooth that caramel is now again? Alrighty. There you go, my dear. You can put that on that plate. Good job. All right. Now, we're going to have this two ways.
Cinnamon?
Yes, we have a little cinnamon in that container right there. Okay. And then over here, I like to do this also with a little crepes. You're going to make the crepes over there too, or did you do that already? Mark?
I'm making them now. Yep, I'm making them now.
That? You're making a crepe now.
I didn't make them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make them.
They're easy to make. Or at least
They got your little batter. Yeah. Back in the day, I was the original crepe girl at Sasha's. And anybody knows her husband, Steve Souser, who's another attorney. So I used to work for them being the crepe girl. But you gotta have a nice hot pan for this. I got this getting really hot. And we're still stirring that gumbo. I'm gonna leave you in charge of that, Jay, while I make the crepe. I'll turn it down.
I can't multitask.
Okay, oh, that's right. You have to understand in between, he's the cameraman. All right. So the deal is, I take my batter and I put it in the pan and you swirl it around till all the batter gets all over the pan. Okay. And I'm using a Teflon pan, which traditionally you're supposed to use a flat like stone with a brayer kind of scraper thing and push it around, but most all people have to do it this way. Now, the most important thing is I need to make sure I have some butter or oil on my spatula as I go in to try to get this thing cooked and flipped. So if I add a little extra oil to it, it loosens it up. So you see how it's kind of cooking like an egg around the edges. Okay. One of my favorite things to do in the summertime when I teach little kids how to cook is to make crepes, and I teach the kids how to flip them with the garbage can out. So in case it missed, it goes to the garbage can. So Here we go. Boom. Okay. We're gonna just pick it up. So you want to let your crepe go to the front of the pan, and if you let your eyes stay with it, you get a program to be able to just flip the thing. So I can flip it back over and make sure it's nice and brown. One more time. I'm going to put one on this plate. Try this one more time.
I got it playing.
Feel a little cheek. You got it?
I got it playing. Yes.
All right. Another crab. Woo! Again, I'm dipping that so I can get it loose.
Yeah. All right, so we're going on the crepes.
Oh, you're getting rid of your crepes?
I'm getting ready to. We're making them now. We're putting the bananas.
Okay. Again, the value of that little oil to loosen that up is huge. Boom. It's fun. Now, I can tell you something about this crepe butter. It's good, but here's the thing: for them to be like absolutely perfect French crepes, they should have little holes in them and be really ultra thin. And how does that happen? So, if I find myself with them a little thicker, which this is way is good too, you would add a little extra milk, or the other reason this happened was because we made this batter earlier this afternoon, and the flour and the gluten opened up, so it makes it a little bit thicker than it would normally be if I were going to just use it. But nonetheless, we got some crepes. You done yet, Mark? Should I throw another one on?
Put them in.
You done? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm making sure that you on the other end there got your things going. You see, this one has some lovely little holes in it. So what would you say when it was time to eat the meal, which we will be due shortly, right?
What do you say?
You want to impress your friends?
Yeah, what
You
is it?
say, are you coming over to pass a good time?
All right.
Right? That's what you do. It was not the laissez le bon temps, la temps, la voulez. It was pass a good time. At least that's what they say in the country. We used to go down there. I'll tell you, it's pretty wild. So we used to go down and teach the Cajuns about Maryland food. And George Rodrigue, of the infamous Blue Dog behind you, became a friend. And he used to come and paint and hang out with the chefs. It was awesome. And several occasions we would go and hang out, and Rita Coolidge would come and hang out with us too and play music. Paul knew how to have a party. So he only had a couple of us he would invite back again. And I can say I was a lucky girl. So there we got all of our stuff that we've made. At this point, we would take Jay's beautiful bananas foster. Jay, you can take a picture of your own. Look how well what I said. So I asked you to put a little more of that alcohol in. You see what it did? It made this really perfect caramel. It's not breaking. It's not very runny looking. It's just a perfect sugar caramel. Good job, my friend. Good job. So there you have that part. Our lovely little gumbo is just burling away. Anybody have any questions, or no? Was this just too easy for you, or
This is good.
ready to taste some food?
I have tried the jambalaya already. We're waiting on the gumbo to kind of. That takes about.
Let it do its thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gumbo is like a soup. So there it is. He's kept that crap all the way up the sides of that pan. Old school, baby. Old school. Good job, Mark.
You like that?
Yes. Yes.
You taught me.
I
Mark, that was great.
You taught me well.
well, I'll tell you something. It's been a long journey, and I'm glad that you got that one down. So here I'm gonna grab our two little gumbo bowls with our lovely pelican in there, with the state of Louisiana, and then I put my ladle in there. That's okay. That's what these are for. So everything's good. Color's good. Gotta be dark brown or you haven't cooked it long enough. I swear, a lot of people would argue with me against that, but I've eaten a lot of gumbo. Yes, I am using a sauce pot for a ladle, and it's okay. It's like the perfect size to fit into our bowl. Now, we must not
Oh, that looks delicious.
leave anything out, because I think bowl number one didn't get any shrimp. There we go. And there's nothing finer than those lovely little shrimp from the Gulf. If you really wanted to be hardcore, and if I really wanted to do this to Jay's likes, we would have had some crawfish in our gumbo. And they are in season right now.
Yep, just started.
They just started, and they generally are not good after May. So, turning this off.
Neither am I.
And neither are you. All righty. And then I would, for me, put my little rice. Like I said, I like that crunch from the green onion. So I'll put a little of that in there. And then, last but not least, a little extra garnish of a little Cajun spice. Okay. So there's our lovely gumbo. I'm going to go grab 2 more plates. Da, 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 da.
Awesome.
Here we go. Okay. There is still a restaurant in the back. As soon as we all get shot, we can all be a restaurant again. Okay. So, I'm going to take my jambalaya. And put that on the plate. Everyone to taste. Now, there we go. And need a little spoon. Gumbo spoons are big. These are not big. I have a set of really pretty ones that Chef gave me. All right. Now, we got the crepes over here. I like to take them in fold them up. Jay has reminded me that the Commander's Palace or Pat O'Brennan's recipe has ice cream too. So you have a little of that in the freezer. And then what you do is you would take your ananas and that lovely silky caramel that he made. Pour that over. The cool thing is the caramel, it tastes like banana. It's pretty cool. I made it a little messy. It's all good. All righty. And there is some goodies. Anybody ready to eat?
We've been eating all the way, all along. It's delicious.
Oh
my God.
As it should be.
So this is our banana. Turned out beautifully. Sarah did a phenomenal job.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Dessert.
You started with the dessert?
Start with the always pick one with dessert. That and a cocktail.
We also had the jambalaya.
You already had all the stuff.
Oh yeah, the jambalaya was fun. So Nancy, tell us again where your restaurant is, where you're located, what's happening down.
Okay. So we are at 1822 Alisana Street in Fells Point. You can't miss us if you're driving down Alisana. It's a funny little building and it's painted bright yellow. It looks like it has a British phone booth out front. There's a queen in the front window. And we've been here for 31 years. It's a long time. And like I said, for the last year, we've been doing meal boxes. So we've also were involved with a project called Heart of the Park. We did 26,000 meals for people who are out of work and homeless or needed food. So we did that. We've been still doing some meals for first responders. It looks like that's calming down now, which is a good thing for all of us. And then in the meantime, we'll
box meal program.
Get ourselves ready to do what we're going to do next. So what is the deal with that? Each week, if you are a Facebook member, you would go to Pierpont Restaurant and Catering Facebook page. And yes, there's one that asks you to be let in. You don't want that one. You want the other one. Somehow those things just never seem to go away. And on Tuesday morning, we post a box. And in the box is enough food for you for a week. So there's usually always a roasted chicken in there. There's some crab cakes, steaks, and then other dishes like this week. There's tikka masala, and there's beef stroganoff and shrimp fajita kit and a big fat berry cherry pie. Some weeks they're brownies, cornbread, whatever it is that we feel like making for the week goes in the box. And then I have a bunch of folks that come and play with us in the kitchen every week and help us make this thing happen. Last weekend we did both Mardi Gras and Valentine's Day boxes. And it was crazy, but it was a good thing. Keep you busy. And that's the most important thing for most of the people in my business right now is everyone wants to just try to keep busy. Because that's all you can do until it's all opened up. We wouldn't be allowed to have more than 2 tables, and that would be very not cost productive for us to be open. So this is our thing, and we're doing it, and we're kicking butt. So it's pretty good. Oh, you like this? So one of my friends made us these masks for my sous chef and I. So Jay, I'll get you a picture of this. This is a thing they're wearing down in New Orleans tonight. Isn't that great?
I love it.
Mask, beads, and bling. It's a Mardi Gras thing. So, just I'm proud of them what they did this year with those houses. I think that's pretty awesome. But my friends down there said it was pretty cool. So, that's the deal. Anyway.
This has been wonderful, Nancy. You've provided us a great menu. Started off with the jambalaya, the gumbo. We've got the banana saucer, plus my favorite, which is the hurricane, which was invented in 1940s at Pat O'Brien's. So we've enjoyed these tonight. We've enjoyed your sous chefs, Judge Etheridge, as well as Jake Block, and my sous chef, Sarah Longston, who's been with me from the very beginning with our Cooking Connections programs. So for all of our viewers,
She works hard.
what's that?
She's ready for that kitchen job. I can tell. She looks like she's ready for that kitchen job. I watch her from week to week.
You can see it's all about lawyers and judges enjoying good food. We miss the restaurants. We can't wait for everybody to reopen and that we can go back out to entertain, to enjoy the fruits. We're thankful for all that you're doing in the community with your box program and everything that you have done. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank everyone for watching us tonight. Caroline Griffin, I want to thank you and show your soft side for all the great work that you're doing for raising the level of awareness of animal cruelty across our country. You're getting great press, and we hope that our viewers will spread the message and support you all very much. So again, thank you very much. I want to thank Doris Barnes as well as Bill Hall. They've been terrific in helping us through all the technical issues. This is not the Food Network, folks. This is Maryland State Bar Association. Till next time, bon appetit. Let the good times roll. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good.